Okay, listen. Just when we all thought the Meghan Markle circus couldn't possibly get any wilder, the universe decided to serve pure chaos on a silver platter. And guess what? This time the drama didn't come from some palace insider leaking tea or a bored gossip columnist looking for clicks. Oh no, this bomb came straight out of a prison cell and allegedly from none other than Ghislaine Maxwell herself. Yes, that Maxwell. The woman who practically lived in the darkest corners of Jeffrey Epstein's empire. The same one convicted for being part of that twisted web of secrets and scandals. For months she had been silent, like completely ghosted the world. But out of nowhere, whispers started floating around. And not just any whispers, words that pointed directly at Meghan Markle. Can you even imagine? Maxwell didn't just drop a vague hint or pass along a harmless rumor. No, darling. She threw Meghan's name like a grenade into the public arena, and people are still gasping from the shock. According to the claims, Maxwell spoke of something so wild, so scandalous, it almost sounds made up. She said there was a CV, but not the kind you hand to HR at a job interview. Oh no, this wasn't about acting credits or humanitarian work. Maxwell allegedly described it as something far more compromising, something tied to the kind of private activities that do not align with the glossy, carefully crafted fairy tale image Meghan has spent years building. And just like that, the story shifted from Duchess fairy tale to whispers of a secret past that could blow everything wide open. Now pause for a second. What is this so-called CV? The way it's been described, it's chilling. Picture this, a shadowy document that allegedly paints Meghan's pre-royal life in a completely different light. Not a list of auditions or movie roles, but something connected to adult-themed entertainment and private roleplay. And the exact phrase Maxwell supposedly used. It was disturbingly vague, yet haunting. Playing the adult game. Just think about how powerful that wording is. It doesn't spell anything out directly, but it plants a picture in your mind. And once it's there, it's impossible to unsee. It's the kind of insinuation that doesn't go away. Meghan has spent years selling herself as a lifestyle guru, a feminist icon, a rebel who walked away from the palace machine. But the mere suggestion that a hidden file exists, one linking her to circles of wealth, power, and dark indulgence, that's the kind of rumor that doesn't just trend for a day. It rewrites entire narratives. And here's what makes this rumor so dangerously sticky. It didn't come from the tabloids. It allegedly came from a leaked prison statement. That alone gave it weight. Because when whispers emerge from behind prison walls and are attached to a convicted insider, people don't dismiss them. They lean in. They want to know more. And just when we thought this couldn't get messier, enter Virginia Giuffre. Yes, that Virginia. The brave woman who helped expose Prince Andrew's link to Epstein. According to her legal team, Meghan wasn't just a random name in the background. Oh no. They claim Meghan and Virginia actually knew each other. Not passing acquaintances, not vague rumor. They knew each other. And here's where jaws hit the floor. Virginia's attorney made it clear that Meghan's testimony under oath could have been valuable. Valuable. Because she could confirm details about the royals, about Andrew, and about who was present when the unthinkable happened. Let that sink in. Meghan wasn't being hinted at as a victim or an outsider here. She was being painted as someone who might have had first-hand knowledge, someone who could have been in the room. And when a lawyer is confident enough to actually put your name into official court documents, it means they think you're carrying information powerful enough to crack the case wide open. That is explosive. And for Meghan, that connection to Virginia was like a loose thread she never wanted anyone to pull. But now that someone has, it's unraveling an entire fabric she thought she'd buried forever. But oh, it gets even worse. The transcript claimed Meghan wasn't just some casual guest hanging around the edges of royal social circles. She was allegedly described as a close companion of Prince Andrew. And that phrase isn't neutral at all. It's deliberate. Words like acquaintance are harmless, but close companion? That implies familiarity, intimacy, access. And access is everything. Because access means opportunity. The chance to overhear conversations, witness arrangements, see things most people wouldn't even know existed. This isn't just guilt by association. This is something sharper, more dangerous. Because proximity to Andrew doesn't just mean proximity to a royal. It means proximity to the man at the heart of Epstein's royal scandal. The same Andrew who was told by his own advisors to brace for disaster when government files on Epstein started looming. So now picture this. Meghan, still unmarried to Harry at the time, orbiting powerful men in powerful circles, working those connections that eventually carried her to the palace. And according to these claims, she wasn't just around, she was close. And once you combine that closeness with Maxwell's shocking allegation of a compromising CV, this stops feeling like mere gossip. It becomes a question of what Meghan saw, what she knew, and why she's never spoken about it. And let's not forget, even if Meghan wanted to deny all this, her own past kind of works against her. Remember when she told the world she had absolutely nothing to do with that book Finding Freedom? She let the narrative roll on, smiling as everyone believed she wasn't involved. She even let her lawyers play that card. But then, boom, court documents surfaced, emails, messages, proof that she had worked behind the scenes with the authors. Suddenly, the Innocent Bystander Act collapsed. She had to backtrack in public, completely humiliated. So now think about it. If Meghan could bend the truth when the stakes were relatively small, what happens when the stakes are this massive? When the questions involve Epstein, Andrew, and federal investigations, when every word could affect lawsuits and legal outcomes, would she suddenly become more honest or just double down on selective memory? That's the terrifying part. Virginia's lawyer seems so sure Meghan would tell the truth, but her track record screams otherwise. She's proven she can curate reality, bend facts, and present whatever version of the story suits her best. And then, the most suspicious thing of all, Meghan's response? Nothing. Silence. No denial, no press statement, no fierce legal letters defending her reputation. Nothing. Instead, she carried on posting perfectly curated Instagram content, posing with jam jars, promoting her lifestyle brand, smiling for glossy photo shoots, and not a single word about the accusations. But here's the thing. In situations like this, silence isn't neutral. Silence is loud. Because if someone throws a wild, baseless accusation at you, the normal reaction is to squash it immediately. You'd come out swinging, right? Yet Meghan stayed quiet, and that quiet became deafening. It made people suspicious. It made them whisper, maybe she's hiding something, and that's what makes this so deadly. Maxwell's credibility might be in ruins. She's a convicted insider with every reason to manipulate. But here's the brutal irony. She doesn't even need solid proof to cause damage when the target is Meghan Markle, because Meghan's silence gives Maxwell's words oxygen. Instead of killing the fire, Meghan's refusal to speak became the accelerant that made it roar. And now comes the part that sends chills down spines. Imagine, just for a second, that this mysterious CV Maxwell mentioned somehow comes to light. Maybe through a leak, maybe through a whistleblower, or worst of all, through discovery in court. What then? Even if it's exaggerated, even if it's distorted, the fallout would be catastrophic, because in scandals like this, perception matters more than truth. If such a file landed in the media's jaws, it would be over. Meghan would be cornered. If she stays silent, critics will scream, guilty. If she denies, skeptics will roll their eyes and call it spin. If she sues, the court could force that file, if it exists, into evidence. And once a courtroom gets involved, they want receipts. They want proof. They don't play games. One single document could detonate everything she's built, and that's the nightmare scenario her critics are salivating over. And this is how we reach the endgame. From the very beginning, this wasn't just about petty palace feuds or tabloid rumors. This was about Ghislaine Maxwell deliberately dropping Meghan Markle's name into the darkest scandal of our time. Not casually, not as a side note, but with intent and with the suggestion of a document that could obliterate her image forever. Think about it. Maxwell doesn't just toss names around for fun. She knows how heavy her words are. She knows exactly how much fire a phrase like playing the adult game can unleash. And she used it like striking a match over gasoline. Now Meghan stands on a knife's edge. Her empire, the podcast, the lifestyle brand, the Duchess-turned-guru image, looks fragile when set against the shadow of that alleged file. Because branding is one thing, but perception, that's everything. And once the public thinks you're hiding something, no amount of pastel packaging or polished PR can save you. And the silence makes it worse. Meghan still hasn't spoken. Not a denial, not a legal threat. Not even a lukewarm, "this is false" from her team. Nothing. And in scandals like this, silence isn't safety, it's suspicion. So now the question isn't if Meghan Markle's past will catch up to her. The question is how much of it the world will get to see. Because if that alleged CV ever surfaces, it won't just dent her brand, it will detonate it. And that's why Ghislaine Maxwell's words echo like a warning bell. Because even from behind prison walls, she's managed to tie Meghan Markle to a story that doesn't fade. It lingers, it festers, and it threatens to undo everything Meghan has spent years building. The end game is painfully clear now. Either that document stays buried forever, or one day, Meghan's entire past crashes into the light. And if that day comes, her past won't just be revealed, it will redefine her. So here's the thing. The more people dug into this, the more it stopped feeling like just a scandal and started sounding like the kind of whispered secret that could shake a royal dynasty. Because if that so-called CV really exists, and if it truly links Meghan to those circles, then oh my God, everything she has ever built is standing on thin ice. Her escape from the palace narrative, her empowerment speeches, her self-styled rebel duchess persona, all of it could melt like sugar in the rain. It's wild, isn't it? The idea that years of empire building could crumble because of a single whisper from a prison cell. But that's where we are, because Ghislaine Maxwell's words didn't just throw shade, they cast a permanent shadow. And that shadow is creeping closer to Meghan with every silent day that passes. The question isn't if the world will see what's on that alleged CV. The question is, what happens to Meghan if they do? Because when that kind of truth, or even the belief of it, hits the light, it doesn't just expose you, it defines you.